In this video, let us solve more problems based on trigonometric ratios. So here we've got a question here which reads like this. If sin A equals 1 by 3, evaluate cos A cosecant A plus tan A secant A. Now the most important thing, let me tell you before I proceed to the method of solving this problem, is that this shows that the cos A cosecant A, what is it in between? Like, how are they related to each other? It is nothing but multiplication. So it is cos A multiplied by cosecant A plus tangent A multiplied by secant A. So that is what it is as far as trigonometry is concerned. When it's like cos A cosecant A, it means they are in a relationship of multiplication. So please bear this in mind. Now let's proceed to solve this problem. Now we've got the data sin A equals 1 by 3. So the function sine is nothing but sine of theta equals opposite by hypotenuse. Now we also need to find the value of this total equation or expression, which involves cosine and tangent. Cosine is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse, and tangent is nothing but opposite by adjacent. So we've got opposite and hypotenuse here because sine is nothing but a ratio of opposite and hypotenuse, but then we don't have adjacent, which is required to solve cosine and tangent. So the first step to do in this problem is to find the value of adjacent. So let's do that now. Draw a right angle to start off with. So sin A equals 1 by 3, therefore let this angle be A. So if sin A equals 1 by 3, the opposite should be equal to 1 and the hypotenuse is 3. So before that, let us also name the triangle, say EFG. And now let's find the value of the adjacent side, which is EF. So we need to use Pythagoras theorem now, which states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. EG square equals EF square plus GF square. Now we have EG as 3, so it is 3 square equals EF is what we need to find, so that's EF square, plus GF square is nothing but 1 square. So we've got EF square equals 3 square minus 1 square, or EF square equals 3 square is 9 and 1 square is 1. So we have EF square is 9 minus 1, which is 8, or we have EF equals root of 8, or we can further simplify this as root of 8 can be written as root of 4 times 2, and you know that root of 4 is 2 and root 2 doesn't have an exact root. It goes in decimals or it becomes an irrational number, so therefore we keep it as root 2. So the value of root 8 can be written as 2 root 2. So now we found the value of the adjacent side EF, which is 2 root 2. Let's make a list of the values that we found. We've already got opposite, which is equal to 1. We just now found the value of adjacent, which is 2 root 2. And then we also have the hypotenuse, which is 3. Here we have. So all we need to do now is substitute the values of opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse in their respective places. Now, what is cos A? Now let's first write the equation once more here. Say we have cos A cosecant A plus tan A secant A. So cos A is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse into cosecant A is nothing but the inverse of sine, so that is going to be hypotenuse by opposite, plus tan A is opposite by adjacent, multiplied by secant A is nothing but the inverse of cos or cosine, so that is hypotenuse by adjacent. So adjacent is 2 root 2 and hypotenuse is 3. Into again hypotenuse is 3 and opposite is 1, plus opposite is 1 and adjacent is 2 root 2, or we have the values here. So hypotenuse is again 3 and adjacent is 2 root 2. So solving this, 3 times 3 and 3 gets cancelled. So we've got 2 root 2 by 1 plus we've got 3 times 1 is 3. 2 root 2 times 2 root 2 is nothing but 2 times 2 is 4. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So we've got 2 root 2 plus 3 by 8. So the LCM of 1 and 8 is definitely going to be 8. So multiply the numerator also by 8. So we have 8 times 2 root 2 is 16 root 2 plus 8 times 1. So therefore it's 3 times 1. I'm not going too deep into the steps of addition of fractions because I assume that we know that we've all solved it much before. So let's concentrate mainly on the trigonometric part in this problem. So 16 root 2 plus 3 times 1 is 3 divided by the LCM, which is 8. So this is the required answer, or this is the required value when you evaluate cosine A into cosecant A plus tangent A into secant A. So to just summarize the way we solve the problem, all we need to do is just see what is the data that is given. The data that is mentioned here is the sine function and its ratio, which is 1 by 3. So since it is sine, we've got the values of opposite and hypotenuse. All we need to do is find the other one. There are just three sides in a right angle triangle, that is opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So we need to find the value of adjacent. Once you find it, just substitute the values of all the three sides in their respective functions. So cosine is adjacent and hypotenuse, and so on and so forth. So just substitute them, carry out the basic mathematical operations, and arrive at the answer. I hope that was pretty simple. Now let's quickly try and solve another problem. So here we have another question which reads like this. If cosecant A equals 2, find the value of 1 by tan A plus sin A by 1 plus cos A, or 1 plus cosine A. Now we've got just cosecant A as 2. So what does that mean? I mean, what's this value? We need at least two values, right, to find the third one. So how does this make sense? Well, it's pretty simple, because when they say cosecant A equals 2, now we need to take the liberty to write 2 by 1. Only then can we go ahead and solve the problem, or we definitely can't solve it with just one value. So we need to definitely write 2 as 2 by 1. Now it definitely makes some sense, right? Because cosecant is inverse of sine, and sine is nothing but sine is, let's take sine theta. Sine theta is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. So cosecant is the inverse of sine. So this is going to be hypotenuse by opposite. So 2 is hypotenuse and 1 is opposite, right? So all we need to do is again find the value of adjacent, because there is tangent involved and cosine involved, which involves adjacent in turn. So therefore let's find the value of adjacent here. To find the value of adjacent, let us draw the right angle triangle. Let's say this is A. So if this is A, the hypotenuse is going to be 2 and the opposite is going to be this side. So let's name them quickly, say E, F, and G. So we found the value of the opposite and the hypotenuse. We need to find the value of the adjacent. So we have EF square as 2 square minus 1 square. This follows from the Pythagoras theorem. It states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides, which is nothing but EG square equals EF square plus GF square. This is nothing but EF square equals EG square minus GF square, which is the same thing that I've done here. So EF square equals 2 square is 4 minus 1 square is 1. So EF square is 4 minus 1, which is 3. So if EF square is 3, EF is going to be square root of 3. So we found the value of the adjacent side here, which is root 3. So now, as usual, let us list down the values of all those things. We have opposite equal to 1. We have adjacent equal to root 3. And then we've got hypotenuse equal to just 2. So we found all the three things. So now we are well equipped to solve this equation. So let's go ahead and solve them. So we have, let's write this down again here, 1 by tan A plus sin A by 1 plus cos A. So now 1 by, what's tan A? Tan A is nothing but opposite by adjacent plus sine is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse, and 1 plus cos is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse. So now we've got tan as opposite by adjacent. So 1 by a fraction is nothing but the reciprocal of the fraction. So let's write this as adjacent by hypotenuse. Or let's first substitute the values of opposite and adjacent. So we've got opposite as 1 and adjacent is root 3. So it's 1 by 1 plus, sorry, it's 1 by 1 by root 3 plus opposite by hypotenuse here. So opposite is 1 and hypotenuse is 2. So 1 by 2 by 1 plus adjacent is root 3. So 1 plus root 3 by 2. So from here it's just simple mathematical calculations, that's all. This is almost problem done. So let us continue that here. So 1 by root 3 is nothing but 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of the fraction in the denominator. So that is 1 into root 3 by 1 plus 1 by 2 divided by, let's simplify this part now. Let's do it here. What is 1 plus root 3 by 2? So let's write this as 1 by 1. So the LCM of 2 and 1 will definitely be 2. So 1 times 2. So 2 plus root 3 divided by 2. Right? The LCM is 2. So it is 2 plus root 3 divided by 2. So here on simplification we just have root 3 plus this is 1 by 2 multiplied by the reciprocal of this fraction, which is 1 by 2 into 2 times divided by 2 plus root 3. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So all we're left with is root 3 plus 1 by 2 plus root 3, which is nothing but, let's take LCM now. So the LCM of 1 and 2 plus root 3 is definitely 2 plus root 3. So multiplying this by 2 plus root 3, we need to multiply the top by 2 plus root 3. So it's root 3 times 2 plus root 3 plus 1 divided by 2 plus root 3, which is the lowest common multiple of 1 and 2 plus root 3. So now on simplification, we've got root 3 times 2 is 2 root 3 and root 3 times root 3 is just 3 plus 1 divided by 2 plus root 3. So we've got 2 root 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 4 divided by 2 plus root 3. So now what we can do from here is we can definitely rationalize this. Since the denominator has got a square root, we can rationalize the whole thing. Now we are going back to at least quite some videos back, some basics this is. So if you need to continue from here, you need to know the concept of rationalization, for which you need to just browse a little more in the list and you'll definitely find the video for rationalization as well. So let's take up a space to rationalize this. Say, yeah, let's use this space maybe. Notify. So we've got 2 root 3 plus 4 divided by 2 plus root 3. To rationalize this, rationalizing is nothing but changing irrational into rational. That is a rationalization. So multiplied by 2 minus root 3 by 2 minus root 3. So now here we get, now we just need to multiply this. So we've got 2 root 3 into 2 minus root 3 plus 4 into 2 minus root 3 divided by, this is a plus b into a minus b. So that is a square minus b square. So that's going to be 2 square minus root 3 the whole square. So here we've got 2 root 3 into 2, which is 4 root 3. And 2 root 3 into root 3 is nothing but root 3 times root 3 is 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. So it's minus 6 plus 4 times 2 is 8 plus 4 into minus root 3 is minus 4 root 3 divided by 2 square is 4 and root 3 the whole square is 3. So it's minus 3. So here 4 root 3 and minus 4 root 3 gets cancelled. 8 minus 6 is 2 and 2 divided by 4 minus 3 is 1. So the answer is 2. So on rationalizing this, we simplify this to 2. So if cosecant of A is 2, then 1 by tan A plus sin A by 1 plus cos A is also 2. So that was quite a bit of working out here, but then to be frank, it was all very simple steps. The only thing that you need to know here is what every function's ratios are. Sine is opposite by hypotenuse, and tan is opposite by adjacent, cosine is adjacent by hypotenuse, and so on. So if you know that, it's all about substituting and solving some basic mathematic operations. Nothing more, nothing less. I hope this was easy.